we put a post out there saying ask questions, right? So really quick, I'm going to kind of go to those questions. I was looking at them, and somebody had asked, Amanda, you had asked, how do I do a return? I'm assuming you're talking about a warranty. And so it's a little bit more complicated than me being able to share right here. I think Bonnie's actually going to do a video for us and get that posted for us on how to do warranties, because she is a pro. Like, and I am not the expert at warranties. Bonnie is an expert, and Jenny is an expert, and there are probably a couple more of you out there, but I'm not. And I used to be in the old program, I was an expert at warranties, but the new program, for some reason, I kind of falter a little bit. So she's going to do a video for us on that. So so keep an eye out for that. And then, how do I get a frugal person to say yes? You know what, that is a really good question. And with that question, Pam, one time, she drew a circle, and it started with a small circle in the middle, and she's like, this is the product, right? And then every time you list a feature and benefit, the circle gets bigger, right? And so every time you reach a you list a feature and benefit, the circle gets bigger and bigger. So the more features and benefits, the bigger the circle gets, and the more that they're kind of sold on it. Like, at first they're like, I don't think so. I don't want this, right? And then you tell them more, and they're like, oh, well, maybe, right? And then you tell them more, and maybe. And when it comes to frugal people, I know all those years ago when I got started, the economy was very similar to what it is now, except it was more about unemployment than about inflation. Okay. And at the time, people were just really holding on to their cash, because it was just, they were coming off of an unemployment. They just went on an unemployment. They're nervous about an unemployment. And so my biggest sellers were Fridge Smarts. I sold the heck out of Fridge Smarts, because at my parties, all of my posts on Facebook, any of that stuff, it was all about how Tupperware can save you money. And when you're teaching frugal people how they can save money, they're going to spend that money so that they can save the money, right? And so and I always talked really about, like, about, like, because at the experience, I remember, when that first couple months I was selling Tupperware, I started, why is my shirt so uneven? Maybe I should just pretend it's like an asymmetrical shirt, but it's trying to be crazy. Okay. Sorry, guys. That's a problem with video. So, so as I was, like, at parties, I would tell them, like, I realized after I started selling Tupperware, and I was thinking about Tupperware, why would people buy Tupperware? Because I'd spent a lot of time thinking about that, because at the time I was frugal. Like, honestly, I wasn't frugal. I was broke. Okay. There's a difference. A frugal person is intentionally saving money. I had no choice. All right. So, but I thought, why is anybody to spend this money on Tupperware? And I looked at my cupboards, and I realized I had Tupperware in there that belonged to my grandma. So it's that old, right? It belonged to my grandma. And then I had replaced all this other crap I was buying over and over. And I was like, well, I keep spending the money on this stuff, but if I just spend a little bit more on this, it's going to do that. And so that was really what I taught. That was my message at all the parties, was how it could save you money. I gave them numbers, right? I talked about, how many, if you haven't watched the video that we shared of Amy Gardner talking about, eco going green with Tupperware, and she talks about the bags, our Ziploc bags, and she talks about, like, how many baggies you can save and all of that. That is definitely the points to hit home when you're talking to somebody who's frugal. And just being like, just some food for thought. A frugal person's going to want to think about it. Okay. So you may not get to sale right then, but you're definitely planting those seeds. And the next time that she goes to pitch a cheap piece of plastic, she might be like, here I am buying this plastic again. Maybe what Amanda said made sense, and I should do that. All right. Let's see here. Somebody said, how do I place an order for a customer in a party and send them their own private payment link? Okay, so this is a party host. She's having it shipped to me because she lives close to me, but she didn't want it delivered to her house, which is fine. So here are some of the party orders. So all of these are web orders. All right, let me just see. You know what, maybe I'm just gonna I'm gonna go in here and I'm just gonna add some stuff to her order real quick, and I'll just have to remember to back it out of there. Let's just add that. Let's just add this. All right. So, and then let's just, so now I have stuff, this is a host order, so it's slightly different, but so I have stuff in here. So I'm going to go to review and payments. And right here, you see this when I hover over top of this little icon, it says copy payment link. So I can just text that pay. I can copy that. If I click on it, I'll copy it to my clipboard. And then I can either text it to her or I can email it to her and she'll be able to get that link. So you're looking for that little icon right there. And then that's how they get that invoice to be able to pay. I will say this, and I wish Tupperware would change it. I'm going to leave my, I'm going to stop my share for a second. I wish Tupperware would change it, but they don't have a breakdown of everything that's on that order. It's just literally a total. And so I wish that it was like a full-blown invoice, unless they changed it. I haven't looked at one in a long time. But unless they changed it, it's not like a full-blown, like it doesn't look like an order form and then with a payment button. It's just like, here's a payment button, pay for your stuff. So so that's something I would say. And how do they pay? They can pay by credit card and stuff like that. Oh, she's asking Robin how they pay you. She said Venmo or PayPal or however you want to accept cash, Cash App, whatever. How do I share the catalog into my VIP group? So there are a couple ways to do that. And one of the ways Nikki just supplied us with the other day, and I can't remember the name of the group. If any of you saw it on Facebook, Nikki said we have a new group and it's called Champion Tupperware Team. All right, let me share my screen again and I'll show you guys. So this is something new and it's a public group that Nikki created for us. She was doing this with her team and she was talking about it and we're like, oh my gosh, it would be great. So this is a public group. Definitely get in here and follow it, like it, all that jazz. Save it, you know, wherever you need to save it so you can get to it quickly. But it's a public group, so you can share right out of here. So you just click the share button and boom, here's the spring catalog. She loaded all the pictures in there for you. And then here is here's a great, it's one of the recipe booklets. So when you're doing parties and somebody wins a prize, if you're doing a virtual party, or, you know, maybe Robin, when she's doing her raffles, she does a runner up and the runner up gets a booklet, just like a consolation prize, right? You can share it right out of here. So you can share it straight into Messenger here. You can share it. Don't share it into your feed because you want to save this as a prize. You want it to be something special. But with the catalog, you can share it into your group. So you can click share group and then click on your VIP group and you can share it right into there. So thank you, Nikki, for putting that together for us. It'll make it a lot easier for everybody. So, so those are some of the questions. Thanks everybody who asked the question. Sometimes it's nice. We just kind of have some questions out there and we're like, how do you do this? How do you do that? So awesome.